Hermes, draw near, and to my prayer incline, in arts gymnastic and in fraud divine.
Dire weapon of the tongue which men revere, be present, Hermes, in thy suppliant here.
Welcome to Third Eye Bind, episode 23, Triple Goddess, part 3.
So, should we start?
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Laura Wong.
And I'm Caitlin Grania.
And welcome to Third Eye Bind.
Welcome. In this episode, this is actually the third of our 3-part series on the Triple Goddess. And in this episode, we are focusing on the Crone.
The Crone.
But
Crone bone time.
Crone bone time.
It's Crone bone time, bitch.
Oh, Christ. But before we get into it, if you enjoy our show, we invite you to please like, rate, subscribe, share.
Rate a 5-star.
A 5 would be nice.
We always say rate. And then I hear other podcasts and they're like, give us 5-star review. And really, that really does help us a lot. Mm-hmm. Views, shares, listens, like those things add up and they make us look cool and important. So,
which is all we care about in this world.
In the world of unfortunately, in the world of podcasting, it matters.
So we appreciate your help. Please share on social media, tag us, tell your friends.
And you do, so thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for all of your support. And if you'd like to support us even more, we would love for you to subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/thirdeyebind. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Mike's going to put it right here.
It'll pop up.
Yeah. We have some cool stuff on there already. We have more fun stuff planned. I just posted my first deck review video, which I'm really excited about.
Ooh.
Yes, and I have a few more lined up for y'all, so
that's exciting.
There's good stuff coming.
And I'll figure out something to contribute.
Laura actually did a really good spooky show review.
Oh, I need to do an updated version of that because I have new ones that y'all are going to love.
That was really good.
Because that's all I do.
Yeah.
And it's still all I do.
You're like, why do I have bad dreams?
I had a dream last night. The devil was inside me.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
A little late considering we did his episode last season.
I know. It was weird. It was weird. God.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine here at Third Eye Bind. We're going to be okay. So thanks for being here.
We're all right.
Really, really. You know what I kind of want to start doing?
What?
Should we start trying to guess what card's gonna, or is that annoying to the deck energy?
If you want, I don't know. Ask the deck. Is it annoying? Go ahead and try. I heard go ahead and try.
I don't know if that's.
I know what card I personally associate with the Crone, but I feel like it's never the card I think it's going to be. What do you think it's going to be today?
Oh, I don't know. I mentioned it and then didn't have an answer. I don't know. It's I say that because I'm getting to know, because I'm working on another deck and several, I'm getting to know the cards more. So I almost can be oh, is it this? The High Priestess popped in my head right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I like the High Priestess for this. I like the Queen of Swords for the Crone.
Oh, yeah.
But let's see what the deck wants us to talk about, which is, by the way, the Lady Moonco Sirens of Song 2nd edition.
The 2nd edition, which is nearly sold out.
Check out these edges, the lavender edges. That really does me in. It's my favorite part.
The 3rd deck will be coming out
soon.
March.
Yes.
2023.
And in the guidebook, there are some really cool spreads made by me.
Made by Caitlin.
Our first collaboration.
Yeah. Oh, I need your bio, by the way. We got to update
I forgot to do that. I'll do that.
We have some business to take care of when we're done here with y'all today.
When we're done with coffee talk.
But yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
I always get so nervous. It's the direction of...
Ooh, they told me to uncross my legs. Okay.
Like you're getting your blood pressure taken.
Oh, shit. Is that the one?
Whatever the fuck just fell is the card. Oh my God, it's the Fool.
I can't reach it.
It's the... Here, I'll get it with my feet. Oh, hold on. We got this. If I fuck up your card, I'll give you a new deck. Okay.
That's the one? Yes.
It's the Fool. I fucking love this for this. Sorry, y'all. I really do, actually.
You're allowed to yell.
I actually do really like that.
I really love the Fool because there's something about the Crone that revisits this earlier part in the story of the triple goddess. There's this part of the Crone that really reconnects back to the maiden, and that there's really this like degaff attitude about the Crone. And with the maiden, it's because they honestly don't know better. So they don't give a fuck. And with the Crone, it's like, I've seen it all. I'm fucking old and I don't have time. I'm just going to take chances based on what I know is right in my intuition. And the intuition plays such a big part in the Fool card because it is their intuition that is leading them to take risks, take chances, to do what their heart is telling them to do rather than what the world around them is cautioning them against doing. And the Crone really embodies that energy. Also, in this version of the Fool, it's Weird Al, and it's the like Jedi song. But
I forgot what it's called.
What's speaking to me is that Weird Al is in the hood.
Is it the Tauntaun for you? No?
I don't remember what it's called.
Just kidding.
What is he like?
It's the little dinosaur looking thing. That's the Tauntaun. What is speaking to you? The hood? The Jedi robe?
The like Jedi robe cloak. Okay, and like the Jedi, especially when we get into like Yoda and the one Samuel L. Jackson plays.
Strap
I don't
in.
remember
Laura's
his
a
name.
fucking nerd. Mace
But-
Windu.
Thank you.
Purple lightsaber. Okay.
You're like Freddie Prinze Jr. about this. I like it.
Oh no, I am. I love Star Wars.
But like that's Crone energy. That's sage-like Crone energy.
Yeah.
Where like I've been there, I've seen it, I have information to share with you. And also I think just in like the cultural zeitgeist, we often see the Crone as a robed and hooded figure. In,
sort of hidden.
in lots of like folklore and fairy tales.
Like they're old and quote unquote ugly, and we want to put them
we'll
away.
get into that.
Yes, we will.
But this is a really fun card.
I
for
love that so
the
much
Crone.
because as I said, I'm getting to know the tarot more, and yeah, the Fool is like, to me, when the imagery of like the cliff and the Fool, just it's very like that scene in Indiana Jones when he's like, you have to have faith and like to walk on the path. It's the third movie. What is it? Last Crusade? That's my favorite Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Could talk about that another time.
I need to rewatch those.
It's really good. The one with Sean Connery.
Yeah. Yes.
Only the penitent shall pass. Like that. All that shit. It's very like that kind of imagery, right? But like the Crone's life, even though they've been around for a while, it's not the end. I love that as the Fool card. Like the Fool card is a beginning. It's the beginning of the tarot. It's the starting over of the tarot. So the fact that we pulled that for Crone is so cool and accurate to me, because it's just never too late to start something new. It's never too late to start something new. And whether you're 14 or 85, like there's never... And that's just not something that we celebrate in this culture.
In Western culture, we try to hide and discard aging.
Yeah.
And elders.
And reverse it.
Yes.
Which often ends badly and botchily. That's a word I just made up. Botchily.
Botched.
And botched.
Yeah, that's the thing about like injectables is that you can't stop once you start, right? I don't fucking know.
It's just that, I mean, there's to each their own, like do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. But there, I mean, we live in Los Angeles, so we have to talk about like the fact that everyone just wants to be young and youthful because the industry here promotes that and perpetuates that with the entertainment industry. And it is kind of sad to see like really beautiful women and men and people just like
age out.
It just sort of, they age out, but then they just like become obsessed with how they look, and then they end up looking worse than they did before they started, you know. And it's just this weird like dysmorphia of of how they see themselves.
Totally. And like I even catch myself like looking in the mirror and thinking like, oh, I could get a little Botox right here or right here. And then I have to stop myself and like, again, like to each their own, do what you need to do to like feel good and feel confident. Like there's had
balance to
plastic
everything.
surgery, which I have complicated feelings about, but I have to stop myself and say like, okay, Kate, like there's this bigger part of my heart that wants to embrace aging, especially since I was so certain for so long that I was going to die young. And so I'm trying
like
to
Kesha?
get... Yeah.
That song just popped in my head.
That album was like a big deal when I was doing lots of drugs. I loved that shit.
Higher than a kite.
Brushing my teeth with a bottle of Jack? Absolutely.
Yeah. Or not brushing my teeth at all. That's real.
Yeah. Taking like little bird baths and random things. But anyway, I was gross.
Oh, the maiden.
Oh, the maiden. But, you know, there was this part of me that was certain I was going to die young. And so I'm trying to lean into that part of myself that is like, babe, no, like this is a badge of honor that you're getting older and that it's starting to slowly appear in your face. Like you didn't think you'd get this far. And now here you are. Like, why would you want to turn the clock back? And also because I have 2 little kids and I am always trying to teach them to feel confident in themselves and the bodies that creation gave them. And I don't know, I feel like it would almost be contradictory of me to like leave the house and then come back looking like a different version of me. Mm-hmm. But then, you know, I don't know. It gets complicated because both of my kids are trans just like I am. And so we really embrace costume and decorating ourselves and changing our hair as a way of glamour magic. But there's something about aging in particular that I'm trying to be gentler with myself about.
Maybe it's like the permanent things that you do to your I think there's just more weight to the permanent things that you do, you know? And I do think some of that, I mean, we will talk about glamour magic in our next episode. But there is some of that is glamour magic. If you we said you change your appearance, that's glamour. But I think it's just understanding that it's permanent and there are repercussions to like putting things into your body that weren't there before, you know, rather than just throwing on lipstick.
Totally.
You know? But aging is an absolute privilege.
It's a privilege.
It is. People, their lives are cut short because of, I just lost a friend. And just being healthy enough to be alive and age. Sorry, I'm like getting really emotional. It's, and to just have like the health to get there is such a privilege. So just to see people get to that point and then to just like discard that value in favor of wanting to reverse the aging, or not even just physical, like mentally shutting down and thinking that that's it. And that even I do that sometimes too. Like I'll think, you know, oh, I'm almost 37. All right, I'm almost 40. And then it's like, when I was younger, you think that's so old, and it's just like, but there's so, I love the Crone. I love the Crone for me at this age, because we have to start combating that mental, like, tendency now, like preventative care for your spirit, because it's such a hard thing to combat in this fucking country. And it's like, we have to start realizing that, you know, like there's so many more things I want to do.
Yeah.
And the Crone and the we pulled the Fool card for the Crone speaks so much to me, because there's so many more things I want to do with my life, and just creatively particularly, and just traveling and things, and just having adventures that, like, I realize now it's possible. It's fine. Like, yeah, I'm an old ass millennial, and like, there's always going to be people that are younger than you and like hip. And it is a little weird kind of aging out of that, even though I'm very cool still, but you know what I mean? Just,
Absolutely.
like, there's memes about millennials and I'm like, oh, I totally do that shit.
You got me.
There was a set of memes today that was like, millennials be like, they ask an opinion, then they go, okay, go. Like, everyone's in a race. And I was like, oh shit. Like, suggestions for books, go. Like, that is so millennial. Like, shit like that we do. And I'm like, oh fuck, I need to do that. But yeah.
You touched on something that I think is important. I just want to like expand on it a little bit more even. Like, you recently lost a friend and you were mentioning how it's a privilege to grow old. And I've been thinking a lot lately about all the generations of like queer and trans and people of color, like all of these generations of ancestors that we just don't have, like elders that we just don't have. My kids have been really into Queen lately. And so they want to know all about Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
And so like I had to talk to them about
AIDS.
the AIDS epidemic in the 80s and how people we were actually watching an episode of Designing Women about it too.
Amazing. We love designing women.
Designing Women.
Mic slapping. Yes. We love shoulder pads. It's fine.
The fashion. Annie Potts.
Annie Potts.
I love her. But, you know, like you said, it's a privilege to age. It is a privilege to get to be old. And I really pray that we are transitioning back to a time where, not back, because we can't go back, we can only go forward, but transitioning into a time where appreciating our elders is a priority, caring for our elders is a priority. Because it is through our elders that we inherit our spiritual traditions and the stories of our people and our homelands. And yeah, I don't know. I just, we need it. We need elders.
We also need all those people to live.
Exactly. We need people
without getting too much and too heavy into it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fucking problem. It's an epidemic of its own.
And it's been, we're filming this at the end of January. Like, it's been a really violent month.
It's been a violent month. And it's
been a really violent month.
And I said I wasn't going to get too much into it, but it's just the way that it happened. You know, you can cut this out, but I'm going to talk about it. Like,
talk about
the fact that, you know, the police officers were black. And then there's people being like, see, it's not about race. And it's like, yes, it is. That's how bad it is.
Yes, white supremacy affects all of us. And even like I live in East LA, like, and my cousins grew up in Monterey Park, and like that's where we go grocery shopping, and that's where we have dinner, and that's our community too. And you see people online pulling the same shit about like the shooter being
Asian,
an API elder, and it's like, no, white supremacy is in all of us. Like, patriarchy is in all of us, and we all have the potential to be violent, even against our own communities. And we lose so many important elders because of state-sanctioned violence and because of, you know, fucking legislators who have gun lobbyists all up in their buttholes, so they won't actually do anything to help protect us as communities. And it's just a wild time to be alive. But all the more reason why, like, I need to appreciate like growing old,
Yeah.
growing into the crone. I hope I get to. I really do.
And the people that were killed were older people. They were Crone people.
They weren't all kids, yeah.
For at least Monterey Park, the shooter was an older man. Like it's permeating our elders. Like that's how ingrained that shit is. And it's just, yeah. It's easy for people to say that's not about race then. Look, and it's like, oh my God, you're so dumb.
No.
But yeah, it's been heavy.
It's been heavy, yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
Welcome to the show.
It's been a heavy month. Hey,
grab your
subscribe
tissues,
and
like and subscribe.
But it is such a privilege. How did your family how did your family like relate to their elders, and like what was that like for you?
So on my mom's side of the family, we always honor the matriarch. Like that was a big deal. Mostly because the men weren't shit.
Yeah.
Most of them died really early or got kicked the fuck out of the house.
Oh my God.
And so for a long time, like my Aunt Bernice was the matriarch, and then my Nana, my grandma Mary was the matriarch. And I was telling my mom the other day that like she's the matriarch now. But something I feel a lot of guilt about is that when my grandma was a lot older and like getting into the last days of her life, like I had a really hard time like being there because it was hard to see her leaving Earth, even though like she was, she lived to be 98.
Wow.
She wasn't like young.
No.
But it was hard to see her go. But you know what? When you were talking about the Fool as the card for this episode, like my Nana in her twilight years spent the entire time like traveling the world.
Yes.
I'm very curious how she paid for it. Because she was on like a supermarket pension from when she worked in the supermarket in Boyle Heights.
I've always relied
like,
on the kindness of strangers.
How did she pay for all of that, Mom? Maybe my grandpa was still funding it. I don't know. But she traveled the world. She drove herself to all 50 states. And she would keep her purse in the trunk with her cell phone in it. By the time she finally got a cell phone, turned off.
That's amazing.
And she went to Russia. She went all over Europe. She went all over South Africa. She went all over Eastern Europe. Like she went everywhere. She kissed the Blarney Stone. Did all these fucking cool things in the like elder years of her life. And I've always thought that was really fucking cool. And then on like my dad's side of the family, I don't know. Like kids of immigrants will know, especially like Latin families. We have strange relationships with the women. A lot of the women in our lives. There's a lot of hurt there. Overbearing, over controlling. And so it's a little bit more complicated there. I'm at the point in my life where like I know my abuela is not going to change, and that's okay. And I still check on her and call her and do what I can to care for her. But I don't know. The respect of elders just wasn't as big of a deal on my dad's side of the family because, well, we didn't have that many. First of all, most of them were in Cuba or dead. But yeah, I don't know. What was it like for you?
I had like my mom's side were Portuguese and similar to, the husbands died real early and mysteriously, like the women always outlived the men and, like majorly. But my great grandmother, Amelia, had Alzheimer's from the time that that's all I knew her as. So she was always around and just hanging out and wearing her sun hat and her like headscarf and like cursing at us. And Portuguese, and we'd watch I Love Lucy together and laugh at the same shit. And I'd be a little kid. So I had a very like comfortable exposure to like mental illness.
Yeah.
And, like, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, that's how she is. So, and I thought it was funny. I
You
don't
were
know.
her friend.
Yeah. Like she was a bee. And before she had Alzheimer's. She was not a nice woman.
You lucked out.
She was not a nice woman. My mother has told me. And yeah, she got like kind of chill when she had complete mental collapse.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means, but we did always take care of her. Like we would like babysit her and shit. Like it was, my mom would like take care of her. So it's very much like take care of your elders. Yeah, and visit them. And then my grandma's still alive, and she still works full time.
Yeah.
Like independent.
Wow.
Not married. Like she's a caregiver, and she's like 82.
Wow.
She's go fucking go.
Yeah.
And like does a lot of things that are really fucking quirky and weird. Like she really likes like The Walking Dead. Like she was very into that show. And like just, yeah, she's just fucking cool and just does things that are against the Crone stereotype. So
I love that.
that's sort of, yeah, I'm glad I have that. Not perfect, you know, but
Yeah.
that's sort of what I'm dealing with. And then the other two are dead. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
My nanny took care of us. She was like my first friend. She taught me how to play cards blackjack when I was 4.
Amazing.
And she used to have tea parties with all of her friends who would come over. And I'm pretty sure they were getting like lit, like getting fucked up, like drunk. While we were eating eclairs and tea sandwiches.
Social life, like keeping that stuff alive is even more important, I think, when
Yeah.
you get older. Because
Absolutely.
if my grandma stopped doing all that, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah.
Like you got to keep your shit going, because it would, I mean, aging is the thing. Like we're not immune to these things. We're like human, right? So continuing to enjoy your earthly pleasures while you're still here.
Yes. Every second that you are able to do it.
Think
Absolutely.
about that a lot. Yeah.
Something that I thought was interesting when I was doing a little research for the show is that so the crone is often synonymous with the image of the hag. So like the evil queen transforms into the crone in Snow White, and we have like the weird sisters in, what do we call it, the Scottish play?
We call it, if we're not in a theater, so we can say Macbeth.
Macbeth. But often synonymous with this hag image. And what I learned is that hag is derived from the root word hagia, which means holy in Greek, and once mirrored high respect for older, wise women. In Greek, she became Hecate, the crone or hag, as queen of the dead, incarnate on earth, in a series of wise women or high priestesses. The term hagiology still refers to the study of holy matters or of saints. However, the word hag no longer carries that same holy woman connotation.
It's a derogatory term.
Yeah. It's an insult.
There's several,
Yeah.
particularly associated with magical women. Actually, I have a whole T-shirt with all of the derogatory terms
You do?
on, like, listed on a tote bag or some shit. But it's like, yeah, there's a lot of them. So I put them all and reclaimed them on a T-shirt. I don't know.
I like
But
that.
hag, witch, crone,
And
fishwife.
Fishwife.
That was a weird one. Battle axe. That was a good one.
battle axe.
Battle axe.
I like that. I would like to be called that.
Battle axe. Yeah, there's a lot of weird ones. But they all sort of mean, you know, a difficult woman.
A difficult woman, yes. And the crone is often in folklore and fairy tales characterized as someone disagreeable, malicious, sinister, even with magical or supernatural abilities.
And who do they chill with? Who are they associated with?
They're by themselves or with their cats.
Or with the devil.
Or with the devil. They make some sort of deal.
They make a deal
with the dark force. Yeah.
And that's why they're so cool and smart.
Yeah. Not because they've lived long enough to see some shit and know some things.
Yeah. It has to be demonic, evil.
Has to be.
If it's different, it has to be evil, right? Mm-hmm. That's so true. And then, we fairy tales and folklore twist them into the villains.
Beware of the hag. Beware of the crone. She's dangerous. And
it's very
like
Hansel and Gretel. Like, she'll eat you.
She'll eat you.
She will eat you.
And it's like, no, she's literally just lonely.
Yeah, like maybe she just wants to hang out and play gin rummy.
Maybe she's not talking to herself. She's talking to her plants because they're her friends.
Yeah.
Can't we just get old and eccentric in peace?
No, then we'll be called witches, and that's full circle.
Something that I read that I really liked. This came from a blog called RebeccaClegg.com, who I don't know anything about them other than I found this when I was researching. The crone is not bothered with the petty, the everyday nonsense that hinders our ability to make courageous decisions. She is wise, yes, but she's also tired, and she's really, really good at cutting through the bullshit.
Yes.
And I feel like that's very Queen of Swords energy.
Yeah.
Like, I do not have time for that. My grandma used to always say, I'm on the countdown. Oh. I'm on the countdown. You got to get here quick. I'm on the countdown.
I'm on the countdown. We're all on the countdown.
The joke was on me because we're all on the countdown.
We're all gonna die, y'all.
But like, I would be telling her a story, and she would look at me and like, I'm on the countdown. You gotta,
that's legit. That's really funny. I got things to do.
You gotta get it in fast.
I got trips to take.
Time is short.
It is. I love that. I feel like I connect with that a lot in my personality. And you know what? Fuck it. I love when I'm at the this is my favorite thing that old people do. When I'm at the grocery store and I'm in line, and you know how like you're putting your change and you're like, okay, thanks, and like just getting your bags, and the people just go, like they just like, okay, it's my turn, motherfucker. Like they just push. They don't give a shit.
No personal space.
They don't care. They're just like, go, bitch. Like, put your money. I got like that kind of energy.
Yes.
I love when they do that. I think it's so cute. I'm like, oh, you don't give a shit. I love you. Like, it's really cute to me. It's like, get the fuck. I see it a lot at like the Asian market. I go to like Ranch 99 and
I love Ranch 99. Yes.
And
H Mart.
Oh, and they just don't fucking care.
No.
Like, you're looking at a mango. They want that mango. They're gonna fucking get that mango from you. They're like,
they are on the countdown.
or at the thrift stores.
And that is their mango.
They are on the countdown, and that is their mango. Yes, they don't give a shit. That kind of, they don't care anymore. It's just like, I've lived through all this. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really great lesson to learn from the crone, because when we're not there yet, we need to be reminded to not deal with people's bullshit and to have very strong boundaries and to just let go a little bit. Mm-hmm. I love that, especially in this fucking society where everyone is like, just argue, like the internet. I don't need to say anything else, right? Like, it's so hyper focused on like everything, and we're not really communicating, and it's just like weird. And then just let it go. Just like, let it go. Mm-hmm. Don't gotta put everything in little boxes. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
Just
keep scrolling.
Just keep swimming. Like, yeah, it helps me at least when I'm dealing with like online stuff or things that are trivial to the grand scheme of life.
Yes.
You know? That energy really helps me ground. It's funny that it's so grounding, even though it's so near death, which is sort of
where do you return to?
the ground. That's true.
You're pretty close to it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was thinking like the spirit leaves and goes somewhere else that's not here. But yeah, interesting. Interesting.
I saw this really cool thing.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because we wrinkle and we sag and we're being pulled fucking literally back into the ground. Mm-hmm. That's where wrinkles come from, and like sagging bags
gravity.
And like bat wings and like all this stuff. Like the gravity of life is pulling you back. How fucking cool is that?
No, that's magical.
We're melting. Like
that's
the Wicked
magical.
Witch. That's magical as fuck.
Yeah, being pulled back into the earth as you age.
Being like sucked back in and like
I love that.
Have it literally grounding you like emotionally too. Like fuck,
because even though our spirits leave the vessel, like our bodies somehow return to the earth.
Oh man.
And what is it, like matter's not created or destroyed? It just transforms. Yeah. And so our bodies are matter and they return to the earth and are transformed and that's so cool.
I just got such I want to animate something. If someone out there wants to animate this, I'm not I want I want like a life cycle with like melting and like and then it's like skeleton and then it's like a fucking tree.
Yeah.
Like I want that that GIF or GIF.
Can you do it of us?
Yeah. Can you make us
a fan art animation?
Just like how cool would that? Or like a short
really
film,
cool.
like an animated short or something. Just
I saw this thing on TikTok of like body composting.
Yes.
I want to do that. I would like to become a tree.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want to be in a box. Like that seems like a waste.
I don't want to be in a coffin.
Seems expensive. I'd rather my kids come see a tree. Not that I don't love the cemetery. Like all of my mom's side of the family is buried in the same place in LA, which is cool.
I don't want anyone to find me. I want to do something with my life that like my tarot deck someone will collect it on eBay someday. Just like I bought the one last night.
Yes.
I was telling them I bought an eBay, the Aquarian deck on eBay. Like that's my legacy. I don't give a fuck about like I want there to be a tree and have somebody not know that it's connected to me so that when they touch it, like you don't know. That's why when like I touch tree, I started touching some trees last night with Mike. Like we don't know like what's under this tree or what sourced this tree to like be created. Like I think that's rad that people are doing that because I have heard that like ashes aren't really good for the environment, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's something about the burning process.
Yeah.
It's like not good for the environment. At least not the way we do it.
Either chuck me to some wolves or make me a tree.
Wolves.
I don't give a fuck.
Wolf meat.
Wolf meat. I want to be wolf meat. Laura, she was wolf meat.
I want to be a fucking tree.
I want my grave. If there is a gravestone, what would you want it to say?
Bad
about
bitch.
You? Bad bitch. Send nudes.
Send nudes.
There better be Chipotle.
So you can shit your pants from beyond the grave.
There better be tacos. Like I literally want to say some stupid shit.
Please do. Oh gosh, picking stuff like that out is hard. I remember my mom and I sitting in the like mausoleum office picking out what my dad's headstone was going to say. My dad didn't get to be old, which is weird. But we chose loved by all. And it was something that like I realized as we were saying it, like all he wanted to do was like be of service to people and be appreciated and seen, because his like parents never told him they loved him or told him they were proud of him, even though he spent his life taking care of them. He was like never, ever, ever good enough. And so when we put that on his headstone, we were like, oh, and we're crying.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, my grandfather, his dad, told me he was proud of me, though. And
really?
I was like, that's for you, Dad.
Hell yeah.
That's for you. But then he also proceeded to say on the phone to one of our cousins that my other granddaughter is much prettier. I was like, I'm not wearing makeup today.
Excuse?
My cousin always has her face done, okay? You've never seen her without makeup.
Wow.
But that is the life of a Latin family. Yeah.
Well, my grandma died and told me she shamed me for not going to see her during COVID. So
Yeah.
sometimes they do stupid
They just
shit.
do shit like that.
Sometimes, but it's that crone energy.
That Crone
But
energy.
hey,
I don't
I
give a
can't.
fuck. I gotta say it
She
like I
didn't
feel
give a
it.
fuck. She was like, "Hey, so why the fuck haven't I seen you the past 2 years? I'm dying. Hope you have a good life." Literally on FaceTime, and I'm like, mortified the fuck out of me.
So sorry. I'm laughing.
No, it's fucking ridiculous. That literally happened. And now I'm like, I know. Am I mad at you? But you're not here anymore?
Yeah, that happens.
We've talked about this
Yeah,
before. It
you
was
can be
fucking
mad at dead
weird.
people.
I'm a little fucking miffed.
I'm
She's a
still mad at my
Gemini,
dad.
too. She's a Gemini? Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
That explains everything.
It's like, what the fuck? And I was like, holy shit. Pump your brakes, Grandma.
I've been thinking a lot about my grandma lately, my mom's mom, because she grew up in LA. She was born in Yuma, Arizona, but they moved to LA really early because there was some anti-Mexican sentiment.
You don't say.
Which followed them here. But she grew up in Boyle Heights, and she would always tell me stories when she was a kid of like running around LA. Like she went to Roosevelt High.
Wow.
She used to skip school to see like bands playing at the Palladium and go dancing with her friends. She would sneak out with my aunts, her sisters, to go dancing to like the big bands. And she used to have lunch at Clifton's was like a big deal, like a treat. And she was like, and it was 15 cents for this. She remembered the entire menu at Clifton's cafeteria, and they would spend lots of time in Chinatown, and we spent a lot of time there too. And I always feel like she's so close to me when I walk around this city, and I feel so privileged to have that connection, especially since on my dad's side of the family we don't have that. Like I'm first generation here. So it feels cool to like have that sort of, I don't know, like she's always around, like her shadow, her echoes are
Well, you
always
would
around the
know.
city.
I don't know why. That was so funny.
She is around.
Well, you would know.
She does hang out with me.
God. I love old people, though.
Me too. This is my grandma's necklace.
Yeah?
This giant lion, yeah.
Yeah, you wear that all the time.
She's a Leo. She was very much a Leo.
I love that.
Yeah.
Big cat. Oh, shit.
Is it your grandma?
It's my reminder to call my grandma if she hasn't called me yet.
I love that for this episode. Don't cut it out.
It's my reminder to call.
That's hilarious.
Mondays at 11. If she hasn't called me yet, I call her. Even though our relationship is complicated,
Yeah,
I still
I
check
know.
on her all the time.
That's good.
And make sure she's okay. And we go visit her and bring her things. And
My grandma, who's very independent, is also very, like, isolated from me. Like, by her own doing. She's very, like, she doesn't reach out a lot. You know, she's never been to our house.
really?
No. She doesn't really want to stray from her root. And I think that can happen too when older people and Crohn's will like isolate themselves too. And I don't know what that's about sometimes. Maybe it's not really for my grandma, but I think that in general, going back to the hooded figure, like the hiding the aging, the hiding the physicality of it and the shame of it. Why the fuck are we ashamed to get older? LA is, I mean, it's kind of
hard
obvious here,
Yeah.
but it's just in this, we just want to, it goes back to episode 1. Like it all goes back to death of like wanting to sweep it under the rug. Like older people, aging people, you know, just sort of shoving it in a closet and not addressing it and not celebrating it. Like, I hate that. I don't.
Hate it.
It's
Think about like magazines and all of the like anti-aging products that were constantly being that are being advertised to us all of the time. Like, there's something wrong with you if you're getting old. There's something wrong with you.
It's like we're being
Like,
pulled.
you're not a whole person if you're getting old.
Like, we're being pulled to go back home, right? And it's hard, but it's
magical.
It's magical, and it's the cycle of life. And yeah, I'm still navigating how I feel about death. I feel very, it's a little off topic, but like, I just feel very, or maybe not. I feel very akin to death right now. I feel, ever since Ruby died, my dog, like, I've just been like not afraid of it. And I even looked up becoming a death doula.
Yeah.
Like people that work with Crone energy all the time and like assist people and their families like that are dealing with the death of a loved one. I just feel like for some reason I'd be really, really good at that.
It's so funny that you said that because I've been looking into it too.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. For many years, I've thought about like being a birth doula, but TBH, like, I just don't have time. Like, I have 2 little kids of my own, and you need to be able to like be there in the middle of the night to like help mom, be on call whenever. And like, that's just not feasible. When my kids are older, that's something I can do. But I feel like being a death doula is very aligned with my practice anyway,
totally.
as a medium and as somebody who helps folks connect to their elders of the spirit and help transition people into the afterlife. I don't know. And I wonder if like so much of my work revolves around helping people elevate their ancestors who didn't receive proper burial rites, who didn't receive proper prayers and assistance when they died. And it's like, could I be a facilitator of that type of rite of passage as they die? And would that help this like backlog of restless spirits that we have?
I think I think so. Something I've learned about, and you probably already know this, but like something I'm not a medium for anyone listening, or but I've just been thinking about death and ghosts and spirits a lot, and it's just like they want very simple things a lot of the time. Very simple things. Like things that we take for granted, like, you know, like, I don't know if like, hey, my watch is missing. Like, where's my watch? Or something like that. Like this ring, like I fucking don't have it. Like, where is it? And maybe they would ask you something like, and you're like, oh, it's not like, hey, this black hole just sucked me through and the aliens came. It's like, no, I'm thirsty or something. You know what I mean? Like things that are just like practical and relatable and just like, where the fuck's my watch? And maybe it got sold or it got used for something or at a thrift store. Like, cause I'm very connected to objects, like, and the energy that objects carry and the spirits that objects carry is something I'm like very connected to. And sometimes they're just looking for their stuff.
Truly.
And, like, they travel with their things and like, I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a lot, but yeah, the death doula thing, I like really am like, do I have time to do this? Like I can't believe that you're thinking about it. I think you'd be amazing at it.
I think you would be too.
Yeah. Are we starting
Third Eye Buying Death Doula Services.
Are you dying? Hit us up.
Give us a call on the Third Eye line.
Are you dying? Call us up on the Third Eye line. DM us. And we'll come to your house. Oh my God. No, really though.
Support you through your last breaths.
I'm like feel like I could handle that.
Yeah. Me too. I feel like the families might be a lot though.
I feel like I could deal with the living.
The dying person, I know I can
feel
handle.
like I could handle the living. You know, I could handle both, but I feel like I could rock with the living.
Yeah.
Because I feel very like I could be supportive in that way.
Yeah.
And helping like make them feel better about death and the transition and grounding the shit out of that moment. And just providing like that sort of like the person that's dying. Yeah, I could hold it down too, but you know, maybe it's a dual service.
Well, like when
handle
you
the dead person and I
literally
handle the
because
family.
okay, I have so
I
many
don't
people
know.
who come to me and they're just like so distraught over the loss of their loved one, whether it was like months ago or years ago, and like that's normal. That's normal. But then we have folks who like want to keep contacting their dead loved ones after they've recently passed, and I wonder if they had more peace from someone like you or somebody who does this type of thing, if they would not need that kind of outreach so soon. I don't know.
It's like there's, I think what's missing in like deaths is like there's a ritualistic aspect to me that's missing. Like
Absolutely.
there's like it's a moment. Like it's, if you've ever seen someone pass or something pass, like it's a whole ass moment of energy, and like not being quite prepared for that and like going into it just like ugh, is really stressful and scary. And then I just imagine like people that would be open to it, like just having like objects and things and scents and smells and lights that would help the living calm the fuck down and just be very like ritualistic about it,
Grounded
and let them
in the
do things
moment.
that are just like affirming for them and like the person that they're, you know what I mean? Like I think that's missing from, because that's prevalent in so many other cultures other than ours.
But here it's sterilized.
Yes.
And like you get maybe an afternoon off to attend a funeral. Maybe.
yeah.
If your manager approves it, and
Yeah.
then you're just supposed to go back to work and pretend like nothing happened and everything's fine. And
Yeah.
that's just not
Or like
normal.
you said, in a hospital, like even in a hospital setting, we can create energy
Absolutely.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. And it's like just the simple act of like casting a circle, which I'm very big on, like just, or providing parameters to the space
Yeah.
in a magical way, or whatever way they.
Like witchy last rites.
Yes. Because it's funny that you fucking say that, because I was telling Mike like what kind of funeral. I'm like, I don't know. You just have to find some pagans and old ass pagans and have them do whatever.
Yeah.
But that's what I want, a witch's funeral. But there's there's really no like ceremonial thing that's just kind of a catch-all. There's of course like specific cultural things but there's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I died tomorrow, you probably could make me a whole ass
I would make it
cool
happen.
funeral. But like, do you know what I mean? Like it's just like,
The standard here is not that.
I don't like that there's no safe, like you know how a wedding ceremony has like the traditional vows. Like I want there to be like a witch ceremony for everybody, that's accessible to everybody, that can be performed at any time, that we all kind of know.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to rely on like Christian and Catholic like catch all, like just because that's the thing we know how to do. Like I want there to be like, you know what I mean? Like a thing that we can all sort of use and then adapt in different ways to like fit our cultures or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that
would be cool. You should make it.
Yeah, I want to like design this. Like I designed our whole ass. We did like me and Mike did like a hand fasting ceremony for our vow renewal. But I wrote it and I made it like, you know, I just like tailored it, but it was really fun to do that. But yeah, I should.
You should.
I should.
Yeah.
Make a zine.
That would be cute. That'd be really
like,
cool. No,
just
I
something
like that.
for the community that can be, because our generation, like I don't want to have some like old Wiccan person like do that shit to me, because I don't, and they're the ones that have established like shit like that, but I'm not a part of that, and I don't want that. But that's the closest that, you know, it would get. So yeah, I think it's such an interesting topic, but that's so weird that you were like death doula.
Non-denominational funeral rites.
Yeah, for
the mystic.
The mystic.
I like that.
Yeah. We'll work on that. We'll figure it out.
That's a good way to honor the crone, I think, to create something like that.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff I very much feel very connected to. Yeah.
One other thing that I read that I really liked about the crone. Excuse me.
My voice is all weird and deep today.
Mine's
too.
like kind of hoarse for some reason.
It's cold.
We've all COVID tested. It's fine.
Yeah.
Literature describes the crone archetype as a pre-existent form in the collective unconscious that embodies instinctive ways of channeling wisdom, inner knowing, and intuition, guiding us through the transition of life and going inward to bring forth the light for transformation. I like that. I feel like that relates to when you were talking about the High Priestess card earlier. Mm-hmm. Like the crone archetype, the crone as an archetype not only contains all of the wisdom of the individual that they gain through their lifetime, but of the collective, all the wisdom that we've all gained through all of our many lifetimes. And I think that's a really good energy to tap into when you're feeling kind of lost or uncertain of which way to go, to tap into the energy of those who have traveled many roads and to have them offer you their insight and guidance.
Yeah, because the one thing the crone has that the maiden and the mother don't necessarily have is that time to learn and that knowledge. It's like wisdom. Like you can't ignore that.
Yeah.
You know,
The experience.
maybe that's why in some ways the crone and the hag have been hidden, because they have wisdom that maybe oppressors don't want.
They're like, don't talk to her.
Don't talk to her.
She's crazy. Don't talk to her.
She's babbling
She'll
about
cook
rights
you.
and things. Yeah, no, literally.
Yeah,
like,
she'll cook you up and eat you for dinner. And she's like, actually.
like the wisdom that crones hold is
Dangerous.
a threat and dangerous.
Yes.
And so is witchcraft. And that's what we love. And I love that. It's not goddess energy, as they say, is not just love and light.
No.
It is, like we've talked about, dark and scary and dangerous and threatening in a good way.
Yeah. It's part of what makes it delicious.
Yeah. So that really, the High Priestess card to me is, and I think you've explained to me, is like a very like the dark, like intuitive, like side of yourself. And that's
The
definitely
like dark side of the moon.
the dark side of the moon. Yeah. And I think a lot of people misinterpret that card. I don't know if that's
Maybe.
like, I feel like the High Priestess, like, oh, she's like the queen or like the goddess in a more of a maideny way. I don't know. Maybe
I
that's
feel like
just
that's
me.
the Empress. Yeah.
Yeah, the Empress. But like, I feel like the High Priestess, it's really popular
The High
card.
Priestess is the crone, though, for
yeah,
sure.
but the High Priestess is the crone. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I'm all rethinking my whole deck now. I'm like, no, but no, you know what? That does make sense because Stevie Nicks is my crone. And I look up to her so much as an artist because she's a crone. She's older. She's never had kids. She's dedicated her life to art and music.
She's shrouded in black.
She's shrouded in black. Like, I just think she's so cool. You know what's really fucked up? Like, she does her little dances now and she's all old and people are like capping on her.
Leave Stevie alone.
Like, you better fucking shut up about Stevie
I
Nicks.
swear to fucking God.
You better not. She's spinning around, but she's kind of like, oh shit.
Little weeble
like,
wobble.
like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. She's not like
Yeah.
cool.
I
don't
recently
know.
rewatched a video of her singing Rhiannon like in the 70s. And I swear she's like channeling.
Yes.
She's channeling a spirit when she does that. She's amazing.
She's amazing. So yeah, that does track actually for the High Priestess. Yes.
It's also reminding me like crone energy. Speaking of Stevie Nicks, our favorite movie, Practical Magic.
Oh.
The like two ants.
Yeah.
And how They don't like people beating around the bush.
No.
They want you to be very honest, or they're not going to help you.
She can eat a pound cake in under a minute. You hear this? Hear that? It's like when they leave, they're like, we're going to the fucking ceremony.
Yeah.
Here's some ropes. You protected your fucking kids. Like, bye. Clean
Figure it
up your
out.
own mess.
Yep.
Oh, they had a message for you. Clean up your own mess.
Like, if you can't be honest about what's going on,
Yeah.
you figure it out.
You figure it the fuck out. Bye. And there's that not giving a fuck, having boundaries. Like, yeah.
And then at the end, they come back and offer their wisdom and help with, like, the ceremony.
Yeah. I love them.
I love them. It's always about practical magic.
Not everything celebrates those archetypes. So it's a big deal.
It's nice to have good examples.
I don't know. I've just been very thinking about death a lot and ghosties and like how, like what they want and what they need and how we can help them and hauntings and misunderstandings about that and just, yeah, I don't know. The ways in which a non-medium, well, you know, a non-medium, non-psychic, I'm using air quotes, can have relationship to ghosts and spirits in an untraditional fashion because my dial is not turned up that high, so to speak.
Yeah.
Currently, I guess. I know you don't like when I say never, but look, some people got it, some people don't, is my
It's
opinion.
true. We
and that's
all have
okay.
different gifts of the spirit.
And that is okay.
We all have different gifts of the spirit.
I'm not trying to be at an 11. It's all good, but like just thinking about that and because I think we all have the capacity to like have those connections if we want them. So, yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned like hauntings and spirits, like because I recently put together a class. I'm going to teach it in the fall probably because it feels more October-ish in nature, but it's about hauntings and exorcisms on stolen land. And about
yes,
because like I'm in like a group, a witchy group on Discord, and somebody was mentioning feeling like they were experiencing a haunting in their space, and someone quickly was like, here's how you banish it, da 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 da, and I was like, wait, take a minute, just a second. We have to consider like how our relationship as settlers on this land can create instances of upset spirits and how to build right relationship with them rather than banishing them once again from their home. So I'm putting together a whole workshop on that.
Great.
I'll link everybody once we...
Not all hauntings are
bad. Exactly.
Like spirits are just, they just...
It's been coming up a lot.
I listened to it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I heard a story about they were experiencing a haunting, and there was a medium that was sort of there, and she was saying there was a Native American spirit there, who was the good spirit. Was like, you got to get this guy. This is how you get him out. And there was just some another spirit that was like a punk rock kind of more modern, like a guy who had died and was just like lost and was obsessed with this woman that lived there and was just like, and was like freaking them out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they asked like a Native American like elder to come in and do a tribal like cleansing.
Yeah.
But the medium was saying when that was happening, that all there were a bunch of native spirits like coming with him to witness the ceremony and to try to like just be like, oh shit, like to help and to assist. And I just thought that was such a beautiful thing to like, because they didn't banish the Native American woman spirit. They didn't want that. They didn't do that. They wanted to get rid of this dude.
Yeah.
And he became very scared and was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm so sorry. And then he went, "Ooh," and he like fucking shot up into the fucking...
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, but I just thought that was because like the energy like that, I mean, I'm sure your class will have something to do with like appropriate, responses like that, like getting the appropriate people in to deal with that and to just like address that. And I thought that was really a really beautiful visual to just have like these like-minded spirits like attracted to you and what you're doing, or like I just thought that was so cool.
It's cool.
Like very honest, I'm sure it's a big problem here in the United States of America.
Well, and when you think about like horror movies, especially like haunting horror movies, like The Conjuring and The Skeleton Key, is that the Kate Hudson one?
Oh, that one is interesting,
questionable. But like they're always centered around like white families.
Like the La Llorona is like, what's her face?
They're always centered around.
It's a white woman, and
like,
then the side character was like like a Mexican woman. I was like, what the fuck? And she dies, and I'm like, what the fuck?
But like most horror movies here in Hollywood are centered around like
the white
conventionally attractive white women or white families, even like The Exorcist,
the final girl,
right? And there's like a house they're supposed to be moving into their dream house, but there's these troubled spirits there and they're being terrorized by it, and it's like,
who's the terrorizer?
Who's the terrorizer?
Like what?
And this is what we learn from, and it's just so.
Put yourself
I'm trying
in the
to address
ghost
that
position. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really important to think about, because like ghosts are,
ghosts are people too.
Ghosts are people too.
And there are, obsessive ones, but they're not all like that. And a lot of the times it's just a matter of like building good relationships with them. But yeah, it's been coming up a lot. I've had a lot of people reach out to me for exorcisms.
Of places?
Let me tell you. Yes, homes. I've had 3 different people reach out to me for exorcisms, all white people who are living in gentrified areas. And when I tell them that I need to like go to your house and assess the situation, do some divination, figure out what kind of spirit this is, and then when I tell them that I charge for this service, they stop texting me back. They all came to me through word of mouth referrals.
What?
I know.
The fuck?
I'm like, I guess you'll just deal with it then.
They'll just get some sage and smudge it out.
They'll just get some sage.
That's gonna piss them off more. They're just gonna be like, this doesn't,
like,
you don't.
Good luck.
Again, this is why using tools appropriate for you is important.
It's so important.
Because they'll just work better.
It's crucial.
It's crucial. It's crucial. Ugh. Yeah. Wow. Very interesting.
Do we want to answer any questions?
Yeah. Do we have questions?
We have so many questions.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
take
questions.
like 1 or 2. I don't know where we are on time. I don't know if I've answered this one on the show before. I don't think we have. Okay. If we speak to our spirits in our mind, are our thoughts ever private, just for ourselves?
I would say yeah.
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 I think that when you're dealing with your guides, like your good spirits, they respect your boundaries.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, they might pop in because you're claircognizant and talk to you. But I do think there's an element of like respecting one another's space.
Yeah.
That goes into it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I thought they were going to ask if it's possible to talk to your spirit guides in your head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I just did that yesterday.
Watch me do it again.
Watch me. I'm all,
That's a good question, though, because I could see how you would start to wonder,
that's a good question.
Are my thoughts ever just
like,
my
wait.
own?
I think so. I've heard like, yeah, like how does that work as a medium? Like, I've heard some people be like, and I just brushed them off. Like they talk about like, and I said, no, not right now. And then in their head, they said that though, to like the spirit, you know what I mean?
I don't really deal with a lot of spirits that are not of my court popping up in my head. Because I spend a lot of time on my psychic boundaries. So it doesn't really happen anymore.
And you're not trying to go into a space
I'm
and
not
open
trying to
yourself
that.
up like that.
That's not my business.
Yeah. That's cool. No.
Like, I will see spirits who don't belong to me, and that is fine with me.
Yeah.
But they don't really, like, I don't get the whispers. Thank God. Glory be on high. But, like, my guides do talk to me in my head all the time.
Yeah.
When I'm, like, thinking something stupid, they're like, eh. Or when I'm cooking, that's when they talk to me the most in my head.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they're always there. Like, I'm allowed to have my own
Yeah.
scandalous thoughts without
Yeah.
their judgment.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there a specific timing and reason for when hauntings happen?
Yeah. There are factors that go into it. A lot of the times, you know, the one you hear a lot is the space being renovated or moved or changed in some way.
Like disturbing
Disturbed.
the land or the house.
Or changing something that they don't like even playing like music they don't like. If you, I guess if you have an object that could be tied to an object that you maybe just bought.
Cleanse your thrifted stuff.
Yeah, cleanse your thrifted shit. I do want to do an episode on like objects.
Yeah, we should do that.
Talismans maybe is a cool title for it.
There's like a name for
yeah, there is, and I'll Google
psychometry, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, like I want to talk about it because
we should.
It's I kicked it. It wasn't ghosty. Ooh.
It's levitating. It's levitating.
Oh my god.
Laura's gonna set the studio on fire.
Oh, poof, and then it just like it's like that dog in the fire is just like
everything's fine.
But I do want to do an episode on that.
Yeah. I also think
That's fun.
in the tradition I come from, there's this I guess it's an ailment, a malady. It's called susto. And it's like when something really traumatizing, upsetting, shocking happens to you, and you often lose a part of yourself that you can regain through soul retrieval. But it also makes you like vulnerable to like low vibrational entities and energies. And that's when you can find that like a personal haunting can happen. An attachment can happen because your defenses are down, and
it's not based on location.
Exactly.
It could be based on like something that
your
happened
energy.
to you.
You like attract it through that time.
They're not all like Native American burial grounds.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of those here, unfortunately.
And we drive our fucking cars over them. It's fucked up. Like the local mission made it into their parking lot.
Like if you think about that, just the concept of how this country was founded, no surprise to me that there's so many hauntings that
absolutely
happen.
I'm surprised there aren't more.
I'm surprised my house isn't haunted, like for real.
I'm surprised there aren't more when we think about.
Yeah, really. So things that something with you, something with the space, something with an object.
I guess like disturbance,
or if like
in general,
if there's like a lot arguing in the house, or like I've noticed that too. There's a lot of arguing, like the energy changes, and then you gotta open those windows, and
it draws. Yeah, because like
I
they're
think
attracted to that energy.
Those sort of, and then they sort of latch onto you.
That shit's real.
Yeah. Then you gotta call Caitlin.
Email me. How about one more?
Yeah.
I think I have a hex on me. How do I get it off? And how do I protect myself after?
Oh.
I would start with doing some divination to determine whether or not you actually do, in fact, have a hex on you. Because sometimes the call is coming from inside the house. Like, sometimes we are the problem.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we are the problem. Even when we're like trying our best and we don't mean to be. Like,
not even
so
divination,
often,
just divination, and also just fucking assess your life.
Let's take a look at my recent choices. But doing divination is a big place to start, because there's no need to spend money, time, and energy on magic and ritual if it doesn't apply to your situation. So I always recommend starting with yes, no divination. Is there a hex on me? Yes or no? Is this something that I can remove myself? Yes or no? Is this certain ritual that I'm thinking of doing going to work for this? Yes or no? And you can do yes or do no divination with anything, with playing cards, with dice, with your tarot. And then when it comes to how to get it off, my friend, that really depends on what's on you.
Yeah.
So you want to think of like balancing out. If you think of it from an elemental perspective, like does the energy of that hex have fire, air, water? And how can you balance that energy out with the other elements to start at least?
Like how are you feeling? Spicy? You feeling drained? You feeling
exactly
psychotic? Like what are you?
That's like too much air.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So then you would need more like stones.
You got too much
and
money.
earth. Yeah.
Got too rich too quick.
Can I have that hex?
Can I have that money hex? Or maybe your money, you know, like your pentacles, like your money's flying away, and like what's happening? You keep losing your money, or you're losing your valuables. Fuck, that would suck.
And then protecting yourself after it starts with like having good personal boundaries.
Yeah.
And having good spiritual discipline when it comes to your hygiene, cleansing, grounding.
Yeah. If it's like real bad though,
See a professional.
That and maybe get some help, or do if you're like a seasoned like person, seasoned witch or magical practitioner, like do something bold.
Ooh, I like that.
You know what I mean? Like when I feel like that, do something bold, and I mean like magically bold. Like do like a grandiose kind of ritual.
Yes.
Like don't just like
get ceremonial
burn a bay
with
leaf. Like
it.
get real ceremonial. Like the fire is a big fire pit, right? Like the element that you're using is like it's not just excuse you.
Excuse me.
It's not just like a shower. It's like go in the fucking ocean or a lake.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the bigger the better.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Fully, yes, 1000%.
It's more fun and it's more effective.
Yeah.
Like spirit knows you're not fucking around.
Because if a hex really lands on you, like that's not a small thing.
No,
so you need to meet that energy and like double it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
Love that.
Absolutely.
That's good.
And then like if you can't figure it out for yourself, like seek a professional.
Yes.
And like if you need help finding a professional, I can recommend a bunch of people. So hit me up.
It's okay
Email
to need
me.
help sometimes.
It's okay to need help. That's like not, well, actually that's not true. I do things like that, but my books are closed. But
no, I mean, it's okay. It's okay
It's
to
okay
like,
to need
as
help.
a witch.
Yeah.
Even me, like, I've been like, it's probably times I should have hit up Caitlin when I didn't. You
They're
know what
like
I mean?
swords we can't always reach on our own. And I have my mentor help me all the time.
Yeah,
So,
I need a back scratch in the middle of my back, and I can't reach that
I can't
far.
reach that.
My
and
arms
so
are too short.
ask for help when you need it.
Yeah, doesn't mean you're less powerful or less of a witch or.
In fact, like asking for help is extremely powerful.
It's knowing yourself. It's knowing your intuition and listening to that. And that's some crone shit. Tying that back in.
That's some crone shit. Knowing what you need and fucking asking for it. Yeah, absolutely. These were all good questions.
Yeah, they're really good.
Okay. I'll save the rest for another time. Well,
that was great. I really liked that episode.
I really love this series.
Too. That concludes our Triple Goddess 3-part extravaganza.
I know.
I hope you took away something new that maybe you didn't connect with before or reaffirmed things you already were feeling.
And I really love that we approached this series from like our personal experiences and perspectives rather than reinforcing like the whole, like Wicca really,
they really
like
took that
pissed
and ran
on the
with
hydrant when it comes to the triple goddess.
Yeah, I even saw something today that was like a book review. It was like blah blah blah, and then of course the triple goddess was mentioned right in the beginning, and I'm like, oh man, it's so true though.
Like Wicca has really claimed that, and it's like this archetype
It's not theirs to claim.
is not theirs to claim.
It's absolutely not.
It's cool to embrace it, but you didn't invent it, and
You
so
didn't.
I'm glad we were able to kind of just relate these concepts to everyday life.
Yeah.
too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm just hyping us up.
we're just great. It's fine.
I love us. I love everything we talk about.
I really enjoyed it. And
I personally enjoy listening to us talk.
I may or may not listen to our podcast as if I'm not the one talking.
I'm always like, oh my God, they're so funny.
Dude, I'm like, I am so funny and smart. Wow. I literally do. And I'm not even
Me
kidding.
too. I watch us on the big TV and I'm always like, oh.
Like those witches. Oh, wait, that's me. That's some Gemini shit. That's some Gemini shit.
I love us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching and listening to Third Eye Bind.
Be sure to leave us a message on the Third Eye line. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. You can follow the podcast at Third Eye Bind Pod on Instagram. There, submit your questions via the Third Eye line by sending us a voice message or text DM. The show is available wherever you listen to podcasts and for you to watch on YouTube. Get early access to episodes and even monthly one-on-one sessions with us by joining our Patreon. Find us at patreon.com/thirdeyebind. Third Eye Bind is produced and edited by Mike Realm. Hosted by Caitlin Grania and Laura Wong. Music by Mike Realm. Set design by Laura Wong. You can find Laura on Instagram at Lady Moon Co. And you can find Caitlin on Instagram at Spirit Garden Tarot.